Hello everyone, this is Collector of All Things, and today I'm back with another look at a watch. And this one, I could be honest with you, I never thought I'd be doing because I didn't think I would pick up a Rolex. Being a watch collector, Rolex seems to be the safe choice. But I've always shied away from the safe choice and picked the unique brands and unique looking watches. So why am I holding a 36 millimeter Datejust? Well, there was an evolution that got me here. And obviously, when you collect watches, you go through changes in taste and just changes in ideas of what you think you want for a watch. And that's okay. One thing I want to get through with this video is that just because you like something one day doesn't mean you will like it in the future. And don't get so hung up on stereotypes or what other people think. You have to like what you like. And like I said, Rolex, well, I've always respected the brand and always thought it was a very valuable brand to watch collecting. I didn't think that would be something on my radar. I also find that for the price, they're getting very expensive and people are going crazy for Rolex. But something happened along the way with my collecting that led me to picking up this watch. So let's discuss this watch first, just to show what we're looking at right now. So as I mentioned, this is a 36 millimeter watch. This is a Datejust, so quintessentially the Rolex watch. Yes, I know there's the Submariner out there that everyone's going crazy for right now. But when we think about Rolex, they have some incredibly iconic watches, and this is one of them, the Datejust. And this one, the model we happen to be looking at right now, is the 16018. This one is from the late 80s, so we're talking about a watch that's about 30 years old, and it's in quite good condition. It's been loved, as you can see. It's not perfect, it's got some scratches and everything, and this one happens to be solid 18 karat gold. And again, if you would have told me a couple of years ago I'd be holding a solid 18 karat gold Rolex, I would have said, nah, that's not for me. But my taste has changed. Now, this is such an elegant, beautiful watch that I can't believe it wasn't for me. And as you can see, it has that gorgeous fluted bezel right here. Now, the movement is also really important. This movement is the 3035 caliber, and this was introduced in 1977, and it ran till 1988, roughly, when it got replaced by the 3135. And this was the first, I want to say, high beat movement. This is it beats at 28,800 beats per second by a Rolex. Before that, they were using the 1500 series, which was running at 19,800. The other thing too, well, a little difference is the jewel count in this one is 27 jewels compared to the 3135, which is 31 jewels. That's a slight difference. The power reserve, I've seen this mentioned between, they always say it's 42 hours is what I've been seeing, and some mention that it's up to 50 hours. I can tell you I'm getting better than 42 hours. Have I timed it already to 50? No, I'm not going to say that. We could also say that it is, I'll say it's at least 42 hours because I've left this sit for a while and it still kept incredible time. This is a 30-year-old watch, and it is a chronometer certified, but this watch has been serviced a couple of times over the 30 years by watchmakers, and unbelievably, this is well within cost certification. In fact, I think it's running very close to what Rolex says, +2, -2. I'm actually in the +4, -4, depending on how I put the watch down. But it's really incredible that it can do that. I mean, if I wear this constantly, it's within even Rolex standards, which is just unbelievable for a 30-year-old watch. I mean, this is borderline vintage. One advantage over this model too, the 16018, over the older versions of the Datejust, is this has a couple of modern features that the older vintage Datejust didn't have, and that is, of course, it has sapphire crystal, so more resistant to knocks and bangs and scratches than the before acrylic crystal. So I like that feature, and look at the way that it just sits outside. That's just incredible how it goes up. Beautiful. And as you can see, there's no anti-reflective coating. For some reason, Rolex doesn't do it, but very legible watch. I don't have a problem. As you can see, I can get it and look perfectly inside it. You'd think a champagne dial or gold dial on a gold watch with gold indices would not be legible, but it is incredibly legible. I can see everything perfectly when I'm wearing this watch. So no problem with legibility. It does have a screw down crown. Of course, it's an oyster case, as they call it. So it does screw down in the back also with the typical fashion of Rolex. And buttery smooth. Unbelievable how it threads and unthreads, even 30 years later, and being gold too. I can't believe the quality. So, being respecting the brand, was I ever an overall fanboy of Rolex? I can't say I was a fanboy, but you know what? Since owning this watch, oh, I'm becoming that fanboy of Rolex. So yes, I have to say that I'm thoroughly enjoying this watch here. So having a luxury Swiss-made watch, all in-house, including, obviously, I mean, those of you in the watch community know that Rolex smelts their own gold. So they get their 24 karat in, and then they turn it into this 18 karat with their proprietary mix. And it's beautiful. It's brushed on the top, polished on the side, and it's beautifully polished. It's just the fine craftsmanship, and the fluted bezel is just stunning. I honestly, it just sends light everywhere when you look at it. This watch has some polishing to it, but it's still in really good shape. I don't plan to get it polished. The little scratch and everything that you can see here, I'm going to leave like that because I just think it adds character to this watch. And this normally would have a bracelet. As you can see, this one does not have a bracelet. I put this strap on, and also I put a black buckle. I could have went for a gold plated, or I was looking at some 18 karat gold buckles, and they're quite expensive. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go with black. I think it works with the strap, and it doesn't take away from the watch, which I think the whole reason that we're looking at this is for the actual watch itself. So this is what I went with. You may not agree with it, but it's what I think works for what I'm looking for. Of course, you have all the hallmarks on the back of it. Overall, I cannot believe the condition of this watch after 30 years. I can't believe it feels robust, and it's a gold watch. I was always told, gold is softer, and it's not something that you can wear when you're doing some robust things. And I've got to say that, yeah, I'm not going to wear this to go work out, and I certainly don't swim in my watches either, so I won't do that with this, even though it is sealed and everything. And the watchmaker who took a look at this said that it was pressure tested, but I'm not going to take that chance. I'm going to use this as my daily wear watch every so often, and also as I can wear as a dress watch too, but I'm not planning on running a marathon with it or anything like that. I don't need that for this. There are plenty of watches that can do that. I think I'm going to just enjoy this elegant and beautiful watch. I'll show you the wristwatch check right now. So I have, let me just put it on, and there you have it. So I have a little bit over a 7-inch wrist. So let's call it a 7-inch wrist. And I think it looks just incredible on the wrist. I can tell you it is extremely comfortable. I can wear this all day long. Being gold, it is heavier than my stainless steel watches, of course, because gold is heavier and denser, but not overly uncomfortable. I could assume probably on the bracelet it would be a lot heavier, but just like this, it is just phenomenal. It does feel like a substantial piece, but not something that's impossible to wear. It's super comfortable. I really love the look. And like I said, I didn't think I would be into a gold Rolex, but there you have it. Just stunning, stunning, beautiful watch. So now let's take a look at the reason why I ended up with this watch. So I'm just going to put this down and I'm going to talk about two other watches that led me to this watch. Before this watch, I wore bigger watches, watches that were, over 42 millimeters or 42 and up. And then I ended up picking up this beauty right here, my Grand Seiko. So it's funny how I'm going to pull in a Grand Seiko and talk about how it led me to a Rolex. I know that's hilarious, but that's exactly what happened. So this is a 37 millimeter. So here I have a 36, here I have a 37, and they're fairly the same size. And obviously the case design too, oyster case, this looks very similar to it, a little bit more modern, but again, very similar in design. After getting this watch, I realized how extremely comfortable it was to wear, and I love wearing this watch. It's just a stunner. It is beautiful, stainless steel, gorgeous, incredible design. And the fit and finish is something spectacular. And as you can see, very similar in the finishing on the side. And gold, thankfully, can match that Zaratsu polishing. And I know some of you are going to say Rolex is better finishing. No, I'm sorry. Grand Seiko has it down pat when it comes to their polishing. But as you can see, very similar watches. So after wearing this, I realized I love this design. I love the size, the shape, the feel, and I wore this almost every day. It was so hard to put another watch on. I just fell in love with this watch. So that led me to love the Datejust, to actually fall in love with the Datejust, the original, the innovator, the oyster case, this thing right here. So that led me down to that path. But we're looking at a gold Datejust. What led me to the gold? Well, it was actually picking up a vintage Omega. And as you can see, these things are, well, in color anyways, very, very close. And picking up this is a 35 millimeter. Thankfully, after I wore the Grand Seiko, I realized that, 35, 36, 37 are extremely comfortable and they look great. So picking up this watch led me to wear gold color watches. This is gold plated, by the way. And this one has been extremely well loved. As you can see, it's got bangs, nicks, and scratches. But it was awesome because it gave me the chance to wear this watch and not really, wear it daily. Now, this one actually, where the Grand Seiko has a sapphire crystal, this one actually has a polycarbonate, a plastic crystal that I polished, and it came out beautiful, just stunning. And if you notice, the dials are very simple, similar too, with that champagne on gold dial. Well, I found myself wearing this watch as much as my Grand Seiko, so I was kind of bouncing between the two, and I wasn't wearing any of my other watches, and I just loved the look of this watch. So I started thinking, wow, I could actually pull off a gold watch. So in my searching as a watch collector, I started looking up solid gold watches because I said, if I'm going to wear a gold watch, I'd love to wear one that is actually gold. And over a lot of searching and treasure hunting, as you would call it, I ended up with this. So it's a strange path that led me to this, where starting with a Grand Seiko, going through a gold-plated Omega, and leading me to a solid gold, 18 karat gold Rolex Datejust. So the path of a watch collector is very strange, and I have to say I love all three of these watches, and I wear them all. And now I own a solid gold Rolex Datejust, so model number 16018. And I just love it. So don't close any doors when you are out there looking at watches and collecting. Research, look, and enjoy. Especially, I do a lot of research, and I love YouTube for that too. I watch a lot of channels, and I have to say that just watching what other people do and collect, leads me down paths and leads me down studying. And I have to say that keeping my mind open about everything led me to an incredible watch. So I hope you enjoy taking a look at this solid gold Rolex Datejust with me, and also going down the path of what led me to it. And I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It does help out a lot. And if you comment, I try my best to respond to all the comments that are in my comment section. And I want to thank all my subscribers. It really does help to know that there are people out there that enjoy this content. And I want to wish you all a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.